News from Maharashtra, where the government now has eased the prime time order that it had for Marathi films to play from. It has in fact been eased from 12 to 9 p.m. is when those Marathi films will have to play in multiplexes. Earlier, prime time was taken from 6 to 9 p.m. Now that has been extended from noon to 9 p.m. Producers and multiplex owners will decide which slot to show Marathi films. Marathi film producers and multiplex owners met the government in Maharashtra today, and Culture Minister Vinod Tawade said the time slot has now been eased to noon to 9 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and producers and multiplex owners can decide between themselves when they want to show the Marathi movie during that slot. Nikita Arora now joins us for more on that. Nikita, so after protests, it seems the government has eased that slot.
Yes, Amitabh. In fact, multiplex owners today, along with film producers and the government, they sat down, they had a meeting, and they decided that instead of the 6 to 9 p.m. slot that had been slotted by the government, that had been enforced by the government for multiplex owners to play Marathi films, will now be extended from 12 to 9 p.m. So, in that sense, it is a sort of a climb down from their previous diktat because there has been a lot of opposition to this. In fact, it's been debated widely since the time the government came out with this decision. In fact, just today there were protests outside Shobha De's residence after she tweeted against this decision of the Maharashtra government, saying that it was up to people to decide when they want to watch these films, and it should be up to the industry to decide when the films should be shown, and it shouldn't be enforced by the government on anybody. And Marathi films were good in their own merit, and it should be decided on their own merit when they should be shown. And after that, there were Shiv Sainiks who said this was an insult to Marathi culture, to Maharashtrian culture, and they protested in front of her house. But this has been seen over the last couple of days that the objective of the government really was that they had been saying that the multiplex owners have actually been given extra land in lieu of playing Marathi films between, through the day. But they used to really choose odd times to show these films, and that really wasn't benefiting Marathi cinema. So that is why they came up with this decision to slot it at a time when there was more opportunity for Marathi cinema to be promoted. But because it got so much opposition and there was so much pressure from people in the industry, from authors, from novelists, from experts, even from the opposition, we have finally decided that this slot will now be changed from 12 to 9.
Nikita Arora, the government relaxing that prime time. Marathi films have to play now only in the noon to 9 p.m. slot. Joining us on the phone line is filmmaker Sudhir Mishra. Mr. Mishra, your reaction that the time frame has been increased from 6 to 9 p.m., which they said was prime time, now from noon to 9 p.m.
I have a kind of general reaction to the whole issue which I've been talking about till now. As all of us who here as an admirer of Marathi cinema, not now but from a long time, Mr. Tendulkar used to write scripts and Jabbar Patel used to direct, and an admirer of Mr. V. Shantaram, and what the young of Marathi cinema, Umesh Kulkarni, films like Killa, films like Court, they are brilliant films which deserve a time slot. Now, beyond this, there can be no diktat, and I think the multiplexes and the Marathi industry and all of us who also now want to somewhere make Marathi films and Hindi films simultaneously, studios, production companies which make both kind of films, we have to sit down and find slots for independent films, and that they should be, that only the slots should not be grabbed by just big films come and every slot is gone. So then there would be no space for any kind of, and that is also taking away choice from an audience that wants to see, for example, Court. I want to see Court at 6 o'clock in the evening. So without a diktat, with people sitting down having a conversation, I think it's sortable, and I think the industry, and I'm very glad that at least that we are all now talking rationally. Because to impose a diktat on those that run a multiplex is totally wrong.